What is up, YouTube? Welcome to the Double Countout. I am your host, Jordan Williams, your reigning, defending, undisputed Double Countout heavyweight champion of the world. You've probably already met my friend Ash. If you're a fan of Attack Pro Wrestling, or if you're just a fan of wrestling in general, I highly recommend you go check out that video. It was just posted yesterday, depending on when this video goes out. But if you are a fan, please go check that out. Please support the channel the best you can. Please like, subscribe, share. Give us the numbers. But we're not here to talk about your indie darlings. No. We're here to talk about WWE Elimination Chamber 2025. A show that I think is going to go down in history being one of the show's major vocal points for the rest of history. I will talk about that in a bit. But first things first, let's run down the match card, talk about what happened bit by bit, and then we'll talk about what the show ended with. And 8-year-old me is still reeling from it, to be honest. It was I had to, not gonna lie, I had to watch it a few times just to think, just to see I'm not dreaming. But I'll talk about that as soon as I can. This won't be a relatively long video. This will probably be a review in about 10 minutes or less. But we kick things off with the Women's Elimination Chamber. The winner of this match will, of course, go on to main event WrestleMania against either Rhea Ripley or Io Sky, which we'll find out on Monday. I almost called her Io Shirai then. Well, wait, NXT. Stay tuned for NXT reviews. But, so, in this match, we've got Bianca Belair, we've got Roxanne Perez, we've got Alexa Bliss, we've got Bayley, and we've got the two women who started off the match, Liv Morgan versus Naomi. Or did we? Because as soon as the bell was about to ring, a storm was coming. Jade Cargill made her return to WWE, looking, in my opinion, more bigger, more shredded than the last time we saw her. But she rushed down to the ring, Liv Morgan, terrified within her eyes. And then Jade attacked Naomi. Interesting here. So we've got an update on who attacked Jade Cargill, and we can only assume that the person that attacked Jade Cargill was indeed Naomi. But I reckon we still got a little bit of unfinished storytelling. I don't think Naomi was in it alone, but that's just my opinion. From what the show has shown us, Jade Cargill attacked Naomi. She attacked her for a reason and utterly destroyed her. Kicked her head off, smashed it between the chamber doors. It was a really brutality. It's probably the best that Jade looked since coming to WWE. And they, after that brutal beatdown, Naomi was then stretched out of the arena. During the attack, we've seen Bianca Belair emotional, distressed, utterly destroyed as to why her friend is attacking her friend. My guess is we'll have our answer probably on SmackDown, I think it'll be, unless they want to show it on Raw. We'll just have to wait and see. But then we had about 30 seconds of Liv Morgan just chilling before the chamber starts opening up. Unfortunately, it wasn't the noise. It was more boring than what it was, but oh well. But the next person that came into the chamber was Bianca Belair, who was so emotionally distraught, she ran straight to the chamber doors, bashing it, wondering what was happening, and Liv Morgan took the advantage. And this is what snapped Bianca out of it and realizes that she has no time to cry. She has a match to win. So the chamber is underway. We've got Bianca Belair versus Liv Morgan. Then the next person that came in was, I believe, was Bayley. I do apologize for that delay. Improvements for next review. Have some notes down. But I believe it was Bayley that came out, and then it was Roxanne Perez, and then it was Alexa Bliss. The return of Alexa Bliss, her third match since her return from the Royal Rumble, I believe, being the Royal Rumble, the qualifier match, and the Elimination Chamber itself. And she looked really, really good in her return. But so do all the women. All the women wanted to prove to themselves as to why they deserve a title match at WrestleMania. And in the end, after one and another, I believe Roxanne Perez eliminated Bayley. I then think Roxanne Perez was eliminated by Alexa Bliss. Pardon me. Alexa Bliss was eliminated by, I believe it was Liv Morgan. And then it was down to two. Essentially, even though Naomi started it, it was the two that properly started, and that was Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan, and these two had a real good back and forth. But I knew who was going to win just because I just assumed WWE don't want to do Rhea versus Liv again. Spoilers for who I think is going to win on Monday. And I was indeed correct, because the winner of this match was Bianca Belair. She seemed to have brushed off the fact that her friend got destroyed quite easily. I find that a bit suspicious, if you ask me. But I'm sure all answers will be revealed as soon as possible. But in the meantime, Bianca Belair is now on the road to WrestleMania to face either Rhea Ripley or Io Sky for the WWE Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Next up, we then had a tag team match, which was between Tiffany Stratton, Trish Stratus versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. This was more or less a revenge match for Nia continuously attacking Tiffany Stratton. This was a decently fine match. Obviously, Trish Stratus is celebrating 25 years of her career, so this was a decent, broadly fine tag team match, I would say. Popped the Canadian crowd. Obviously, Trish Stratus is Canadian. So it's serviceable for them to see a Hall of Famer basically put on a show that she wants to put on for them. We had no build for WrestleMania during this match. We had no Charlotte Flair out on ringside. But this doesn't mean this is a missable match. It was still a really, really good match with the baby faces of Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus winning, pinning Nia Jax in the process after a bit of miscommunication from Nia Jax and Candice LeRae, where Candice LeRae went to save Nia Jax but accidentally moonsaulted her, and then Tiffany won with the pinfall with the prettiest moonsault. And as I said, nothing was followed up on. It was just ended. The babyfaces celebrated, and then we moved on. Up next, we had the brutal, violent, unsanctioned match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And what these two have proved is, because when you think of WWE and you think of hardcore matches or no disqualification matches, they all tend to, it's like, what was Roman Reigns' trial by Samoan? No, the Samoan tribal combat. Otherwise, you got no disqualifications, extreme rules, no holds barred. When you think of unsanctioned, you think it's the same thing. It's just they're treated like WWE are not promoting this match, despite the fact they truly, really are. Just to try and get over how brutal it was, but at the end of the day, it's just another hardcore match. I do think each match need to have their own uniqueness to it, but this is why this unsanctioned match is actually quite different. They dimmed the lighting. The ref was not in WWE uniform. The WWE turnbuckles always had the WWE badge on it, but they were covered by a bag. They tried to make sure that this was not promoted by WWE as best as they can. But it's Sami Zayn, it's Kevin Owens. You know, if you know the history between these two, you know just what kind of match you'll be getting. A utter brutal match where Sami is, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, kayfabing an injured neck, which he's been building for the past few weeks since the package pile driver delivered by Kevin Owens on Monday Night Raw. So they both brought out the chairs, free chairs. They brought out a hockey stick because they're in Canada and they are Canadian. They brawled through the crowd, and Sami Blue Thunder powerbombed, in a sense, a modified version, if you will, onto Kevin Owens via 2 tables with lots of junk food on it, popcorn, the lot. Before they got back to the ring, Sami looked like he was about to get on the turnbuckles to deliver 10 punches to the head, but Kevin Owens got under, pushed him, and they set up 2 tables outside on the ringside. So you got a table on top of a table. Sami went over the turnbuckle and basically swanton bombed through the 2 tables, which, as someone who wants to be a wrestler, I do not want to take that bump, believe me. After a good back and forth between the two, I say it was a pretty general good back and forth between the two. We got more weapons out. We even got Sami even got out a chair wrapped in barbed wire. On commentary, you got Michael Cole pleading both wrestlers to end the match, to stop the match. We've had security come down to try and persuade both of them to end it. Personally, I wish they didn't. If they're saying this isn't WWE officiated match, no WWE personnel should be down on ringside. But that's just a me thing. I reckon they should have just left it and left these two put on a clinic, which they both indeed definitely do. In the end, Kevin Owens did a powerbomb onto Sami on the ring, the side of the ring, which we all know is the hardest part of the ring. He done it twice and got the win with the 1, 2, 3. Of course, he didn't want to end it there. Once Kevin was out, he ripped the pad in and was going to bring Sami out to deliver a package pile driver onto the concrete floor. But Kevin Owens heard voices, and so did the whole arena, for Randy Orton finally made his return and seeked revenge onto Kevin Owens for kayfabe injuring him a couple months ago. Kevin seemed to be absolutely emotional after his match with Sami, but was ready for another fight against Randy Orton. Randy got in the ring. They had a little bit of a brawl before an RKO out of nowhere put Kevin Owens down on the mat. Randy was about to assault him with a chair, but instead, a punt. So he wound up, was getting ready to do a punt on KO until the security ran in to stop Randy from delivering the kick. And then Randy decided to have a little bit of fun and did some RKO onto the security guards, while Kevin Owens was running away for his life. We all know this is going to lead to a WrestleMania match between the two. I can't wait for that, and I think Sami's going to go into a feud with Karrion Kross, which I'm excited for. Karrion is doing some of the best work I've seen him do in WWE in recent times, but is it a Mania match? We'll see how the build goes in the next few weeks. Up next is the main event. Now, I thought we were going to get Rock and Cody, but we didn't, and I know why, after the show ended. Due to a Fightful Select report, but I'll get into that after this review. So we've got John Cena, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, Logan Paul, CM Punk, and Damian Priest, with the two starting being Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins, who have got a long history this past year after having a recent match. I believe it was on the 3rd week since they went to Netflix, maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. As well as last year's WrestleMania, when they had the World Heavyweight Championship match, which Drew won and then lost in 5 minutes. These two put on, once again, another back and forth. They're good workers. You can't go wrong with both of them. They even fought in front of CM Punk like two children trying to get their dad's attention. With Punk in the pod promoting the violence, the utter violence that they are given. Damian Priest then came in, and then followed by Logan Paul. And I was getting all of the orders right until one person screwed me over, and that was John Cena. I had 11 out of the 12 participants in this year's Elimination Chamber events in the right order, apart from, I guess, essentially 2. John Cena coming out last, but instead he came in second last. He went straight into the 5 moves of doom. Eventually, he ran into a Claymore. But Drew let his cockiness to embarrass John Cena, get ahead of him, and Damien rolled him up for the 1-2-3, eliminating Drew McIntyre. Drew then claymored Damian Priest, followed by Logan Paul doing a 5-star frog splash from the top of the pod onto Priest, eliminating him in the process. We had a bit of back and forth then between Logan Paul and Punk, which Punk eliminated Logan Paul. And then we're down to 3. Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and John Cena. We had a little bit of a resonance between CM Punk and John Cena, who then hugged each other, as, well, they haven't wrestled in like 13 years, I believe it has been. So it generally felt... It brought back a lot of memories, to say the least, until they went into a little bit back and forth. Rollins, however, fueled with anger and rage, went for Punk, which ultimately, in the end, cost him when Punk and Cena teamed up to eliminate Rollins. Then we were down to 2, Punk and Cena. We had a bit of a back and forth until Rollins hit Punk with the stomp. Cena took advantage and put Punk into the STF, passing him out and winning the match. So at WrestleMania, we have got John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 41. Cody then came out to celebrate and to shake the hand of the winner, John Cena, until the final boss music hit and The Rock was coming down. Weirdly, with Travis Scott. Travis was really out of place in this segment. I don't know why he's been introduced to this, but we'll find out. But anyways, Rock said to Cody, "I want your soul. What is your answer?" And Cody said to him, "I've sold my soul, Rock, to this ring and to all the fans. So Rock, go fuck yourself." And he said in the most angrily way possible, the best way you can swear. Cena, being the goofy self, was celebrating with a big face and gave Cody a hug. And then that face frowned. And he looked at Rock. Rock gave the 2-finger slit throat. And Cody didn't know the wiser until Cena gave him a kick in the balls and then utterly destroyed him. He had Dusty's Rolex and punched Cody with it. He dismantled Cody with the championship belt, and Cody was busted open the hard way. Travis Scott slapped Cody's taste out of his mouth once again. Why is he there? I don't know. And The Rock covered the weight belt that he had with Dusty Rhodes' death date on the belt in Cody's blood and whipped him to the curve. So you heard me right. John Cena, for the first time in 22 years, 21 years? No, like 22 years, has turned heel. The corporate man has finally turned heel. So at WrestleMania, we have the babyface of Cody Rhodes versus the corporate Hollywood heels in John Cena, accompanied potentially to the ring by The Rock. Elimination Chamber is going to go down as one of those historic points where when we talk about heel turns, we'll talk about Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and John Cena. It's going to fair to say I am really excited for WrestleMania. I would talk more, but I am running out of time. So this is Jordan from the Double Countout, and I'll be back with another review as soon as I can.